This is my video of me sharing my testimony because 2021 was like, wow, the year my dreams came true. So let me start from the beginning. Since when I was in primary school, and I noticed that things my level were much too simple for me, and I always wanted more. I always wanted to be really challenged. My parents told me that to go to a really good school, I needed a scholarship. So I became obsessed with getting a scholarship to go to a great school where my mind and my intellect would be pushed to boundaries. And so I wrote my first scholarship exam when I was 10. And I remember that my name was published in the newspaper and they said I missed the cutoff point by zero point 0.5 marks. Yeah, Berriton College in Port Harcourt. I remember it took a long journey from Agbo in Delta State to Port Harcourt, and all for zero point 0.5 marks. Anyway, that's how my journey started. And then I went to secondary school, went to a competition, and after getting burnt on the way, the exhaust pipe of a motorcycle, I got to the competition and I wasn't served one subject, and that's how my score dropped. And all for nothing again. And I got an exhaust mark that still follows me till date. So I started applying to schools abroad when I finished secondary school. I wrote my first SAT when I was 14. And I basically started applying, and I remember that when I wrote my first SAT exam, my score was so good that I got invited for a conference, National Student Leadership Conference in the US. That was 2011, the year that I finished secondary school. I wrote JAM that year, got admitted into medicine, Unilag, and then when I got to the clearance, I was cleared out because I was too young. I was 15, and they said they wanted us to be at least 16, and they refused to defer the admission, and that's how I lost it. 2011. And in 2012, I got admission in school in the US with a partial scholarship in July 2012, and my parents told me that they couldn't afford the rest. And in the same 2012, the conference to go to the US, I went for the visa interview to attend the conference, which my dad had already paid for, and I was denied the visa. When we wrote to the conference people, they said that they had 3 Nigerians, 2 guys and a girl, and I was the only one denied visa. And they don't understand why. Once again, it was me. For a while, I felt really unfortunate. And, the school and the visa thing, they happened in the same year in 2012. I'd already lost my Unilag admission into medicine. Everything just kept screaming, you're too young, you're too young. Was it my fault that I was young and I wanted more? I was so depressed. And when I did my A level that is 2 years, I did it in 6 months. And when we wrote the exam, I had A chemistry, A physics, and my biology was seized. Okay, send the query as to why it was seized. We waited for a very long time, and when the deadlines were passing, we wrote to them. And then they replied and said, oh, we're sorry. The lady who should have sent your query in Nigeria, she was on maternity leave and we didn't realize. Anyway, long story short, the jam that I wasn't even thinking about when I wrote it, because I wrote it the same period I wrote my A-level exam, was what I finally used to enter Uniben, optometry. And I was like, optometry 6 years in a Nigerian university. I don't have the emotional stamina for that. And so I transferred to medical biochemistry. That is the best decision I ever made in Uniben. So for the first 100 level, I was really depressed because of all those things that had happened. In 200 level, I applied for a scholarship, an normal scholarship. I remember when they called me because, I don't know, they needed to confirm some things, and they said, oh, are you really Anyoma? Are you not Anyoma? And I was crying on the phone, begging them to please consider me because I was tired of all the misfortunes. What had I done? But I got the scholarship. For the first time, I got a win. And that's why it's one of the most significant awards I've ever gotten. And then I finished Uniben, best graduating student of the entire School of Basic Medical Sciences, won all the awards. Oh my god. Now I have a stronger, plus I had a black belt in karate, bronze medal at national level, plus all the medals at state levels. I felt I had a lot going on, so it shouldn't be so hard to secure a scholarship for masters, right? Wrong. I'm afraid of the world, or I was afraid of the world. I felt safe in an academic environment. I felt like, okay, I could push my brain to limits in academic environment, and then I don't need to think too much of what I will be because I'll be too busy studying. But when I graduated, first year, nothing. Second year, nothing. Third year, I was getting like the Rhodes Scholarship, for example. I applied and I got in the top 45 in the whole of West Africa. But they were going to take only one or two people from the whole West Africa. And they said, for you to get to this point, it means you have potential. Great. And I remember the CC Hub traineeship, 15 people from the whole of Africa, and I was one of them. It was so great. The first time I left the country for our boot camp in Rwanda, it felt so reassuring. And it opened a new aspect of the future to me in design thinking. It's an opportunity I will always be grateful to. First year, no scholarship. Second year, third year. By the fourth year, I was tired. I graduated in 2017. Let's not talk about Uniben and all the stress about transcripts never arriving or certificates never being printed, or the fact that they owe me approximately more than 50,000 naira cumulatively from all the awards I won, and they never paid till date. And yet I was still charged 3,000 at 3,000 and for my certificate. And I wasn't owing the school one dime. And let's not go there. In 2018, 2019, when I did my youth service, I was really depressed because that period, I thought that, I was an adult, I would try the world. What is the Christian God? We help. Because my dad is a pastor, and I felt more alienated in the kind of Christian system I grew up. But that period, 2018, 2019, was the sickest and most depressed period of my life. I was so sick. And now I realize I was because my mind was sick. My spirit was poisoned and my body was dying slowly. So in 2020, I said, fine, I would try this God for myself and see how it works out. So I was like, first things first, I will not be anxious. I will not be depressed. Instead of taking those drugs that just keep making me sicker, I would read the Word of God every day. And so, to be honest, as I was reading the Word of God, I also found this church that my colleague during the CC Hub traineeship attended, Celebration Church International. And yes, the messages of the Pastor Emmanuel Iren, spoke to my heart. It resonated with my soul. And so I listened to his messages regularly, read my Bible, and to be honest, I got healthier, I got better, and I had less seizures, less anxiety attacks. Because I was seeing what I was experiencing, I started to read the Bible more and listen to messages more, and really just surround myself with positive Christian, spirit uplifting conversation, And I was having these dreams and of babies and good things incoming, but everything around me was dry. But I was just like the pastor says in Celebration Church, I will not let my circumstance define my conviction. I will make sure my conviction defines my circumstance. So even though everywhere around me is dry, I believe everything is working for my good. And I've been having great revelations. And whether I like it or not, my reality is going to obey. And so I continue like that in 2020. I remember December 31st, 2020, I had a dream where I was singing, this is the year of Jubilee, this is the season of Jubilee. Just the first lines of the song by Ron Kennedy. And when I woke up, I remember the song and went to look for it and downloaded it. And I was like, this is my song for the whole of 2021. I don't care what the circumstances around me may look like, but the least I can do is to sing this song for the whole of 2021, no matter what happens. It's just to hold on to this message for the whole year. It's not too much. And that's what I entered 2021 with. Everywhere was still dry. I was still clueless. And by my birthday, my 25th birthday, June 2nd, at that point, I had nothing. I had nobody I would say I could count on. I had no opportunity that I would say I'm hoping for this, hoping for that. Everything had come to nothing. Nothing. Despite all my hunting and my hard work, all I had was, hobbies like language learning, looking for one or two conferences to attend. I had attended the European Forum back online because of COVID, and the World Forum for Democracy also online because of COVID. So, I was just engaging in all these things to keep me busy and at least know that that's what the time is passing for and explore more interests. But I had nothing that I was looking forward to. But I was grateful because that period taught me to appreciate my family, who did not pressure me, who knew that my path is different, and they continue to encourage me. I was like, even if there was something I'm not doing, God in heaven, you know that I'm trying what I know to try. What else am I doing I'm not doing right? I remember I was having dreams 2020 about babies and good things, but nothing was happening around me. Everywhere was dry. I was thinking of settling in Abuja, and then COVID happened and I had to return. Everything just went into thin air. At least I did at some point I didn't know what I was going to do again. And when I told my brother and my parents, my brothers, my parents, my sisters, I was tired, they told me not to give up. I graduated with the best results since the inception of my department. As at this time I'm speaking, nobody has broken my record. And in 2021, 4 years after, I still had nothing. I remember my lecturers who kept recommending me, Mr. Ododo, Dr. Anyonye, Mrs. Obayiwan, and encouraged me not to give up. So this period taught me to really appreciate those people. And slowly I began to see the people who really cared about me, who were around me, who somehow I was so distracted I didn't see them. But this period where I was at my lowest and nobody had my time, it became clearer to see such people. I don't know, for some reason, some of them thought they were closer to me than I realized, and I just didn't see it that way. For every one of you who somehow you were there for me and I didn't realize, and maybe you got angry and pissed and walked away, I'm very sorry, I apologize. I was blind. And for those of you who were patient enough to stay and forgive me, and now I realize how much of a friend you are. Thank you. Thank you. So by my birthday, I had nothing. I had no close friend. The only thing I had was God. I was like, God, I'm giving my life over to you. I have nothing else. If I perish, I perish. I'm not taking any medication anymore. There's nobody I'm hoping will help me. Oh, if this person comes through, if that comes through, I have nothing. Thank you for my family. Thank you for other human beings that are still around, that somehow I'm getting to see them more clearly. But really, the only person I have is you. So whatever happens, I'm not taking my seizure medications anymore. And they say my brain could fry at any moment. My intellect is one of the most treasured things I have. But if it happens, so be it. If my brain fries and I lose my intellect, so be it. Whatever happens, I don't care anymore. I'm just really tired of trying so hard. So hard. I know you blessed me, but at this point, I don't know anymore. But I clean myself and I'm saying, here I am. Anywhere you leave me, I'll follow. I'm hanging on by a thread, and that thread is you. If you let me fall, then fine. After all, the Bible says, he who is ready to save his life will lose it. And he who is ready to lose his life will save it. I'm done with this. I'm tired. And that was my birthday this year. And I just let it go like that. Living one day at a time in my family house in Kwale, Delta State, making friends with the cassava, the yam, and befriending the cashew tree. I love the cashew tree, my friend. I miss my cashew tree already. Everywhere was still dry. But I remember August 31st, I had a dream, and in that dream I was singing, hearing is time, for the time of the children of God has come. Hearing is time, for the time, hallelujah. Yeah, I was singing that song. And as usual, the messages from Pastor Aaron in Celebration Church kept corroborating my own personal messages. That's why I say Celebration Church International is my soulmate church. Yeah, right? Then things started happening in October. So in August, when I was still bored, I remember practicing with the cassava and yam in my compound on how I'm going to give my thank you speech at the big stage one day, because I was just bored. And I was like trying to encourage and remind myself of the future that I'm looking at, that whatever I was going through, this dry spell was just a phase, right? Then by October, we got an email from the World Forum for Democracy that we could hold the program in person and we're all invited. All expense paid, by the way. Not like the conference in 2012 that my father paid and I was still denied visa. Now, at this time, the time to apply for visa was already too short. But because we were being invited by the Council of Europe, I used my letter of invitation and my support letter to write to the head of visa to beg for an appointment. And normally the visa would take like 15 days at the very least. But I had like 13, 12, 10 days. But I didn't even need to worry about that. After getting the appointment that was manually booked, VVIP access, my visa was ready in 3 days. And that was in October. In that same October, hold that thought, October, right? Okay, so let me go back. Yeah, in 2021, my former course advisor and my old colleague from school had sent me the link to Education USA, telling me to apply because Education USA helps pay for your application fees. And they give you advising on how to apply to US schools. And then when you get in, they pay your visa fee, service fee, flight fees, plus all the orientation that you need. And if there's still extra money from the budget, they might even give you an allowance to settle in. But basically, they just help you with the process. It's for scholars that are economically disadvantaged. The only thing you have to do is to attend one meeting every month at either Lagos or Abuja. The reason I hadn't applied ever since was because I could not guarantee attending the meeting once every month. But this year, 2021, 2 people sent me the link. And the Bible says, by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter is established. My father taught me that, and I've always used that. So when 2 people sent that, I was like, okay, this is a sign. I'll apply. I wasn't really even very serious about the application. But I believe having to apply for countless things for 4 years have given me the skill that even my unserious application is still, tangible. So I put in the application, and this year happened to be the year that were so many, like I think 6,000 or so. And so they did a test. I didn't read for the test, GRE standard. But the trick here is there's this game Elevate that I practice every day. It helps my math, my arithmetic actually, and my English. So basically I play that game every day. So me saying I didn't read, it's not the same thing as I didn't read. Shade. So I wrote the test and I passed. I was invited for an interview. But the problem is I had to travel from Kwale, Delta State, to Lagos for an interview. COVID period. I have a history of asthma. So I begged these people, say, please, I beg, please consider. Can we please make this interview online? Please? Because this COVID thing, I explained. I never got a reply. And I was like, fine. It's for the best anyway. I'm trying to protect everybody. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, fine. And I left it like that. And then my friend Ochuko introduced me to Perfect, who was already in Germany, introduced me to Rupert, who coincidentally was with Education USA and had resumed school in US in that August. I remember seeing his picture when we started talking, and I was like, oh my God, I wish this is me. He was like, don't worry, this will be you someday. And we started talking. He asked me about Education USA. I said I didn't apply. You know why? Only for me to wake up one day and see, congratulations, you've been conditionally accepted. How? Me? Out of 66 people invited for interview? What? To be honest, for a while I didn't believe it. I was like, that's why honestly for like the first month I kept thinking maybe it's a mistake. That's why when I went for the boot camp and it was cancelled and they sent a master sheet and I didn't see my name, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I hope these people are not playing with me. I freaked out. It was a whole fiasco. But Rupert helped me manage the process. And so I got into Education USA. Boom. So I had to just attend at least one meeting every month. So they started advising us, and so that's how they advised us, with Rupert talking to me, the other mentors that was assigned to me, and even my brother talked to me. It made more sense to apply for PhD directly than MSc. and there's more funding in PhD. And also I thought about it. All the years I would have used to read masters, they have passed. I might as well just put my whole head into the PhD. And I did not mention I'm applying for biomedical engineering. I graduated from medical biochemistry. I'm applying for biomedical engineering because honestly, it's a really interesting field, you know. Anyway, I started writing to professors. Nobody was answering me. So there's this university that I'd already seen the last year. I didn't apply because the biomedical engineering said they preferred people from engineering background and people with an MSc. I am neither of those. Plus, they have application fee. So I just jump and pass. But this year, I don't know, since professors were not replying me, I went back to the school and said, is there any professor that even has my research interest that I can talk to? That's how I saw one. I said, let me just send this professor email. I just sent him the email like that. The next day, this man has replied. Okay. Back. That same day, we set interview for Friday. It was a Tuesday, we set interview for Friday. Okay, this is going well. And then I think that was Tuesday, either the Wednesday or Thursday, one of them, Wednesday or Thursday, one of those nights, I had another dream. And in the dream, yeah, I know, I'm Chiz-Wil the dreamer. And in the dream, they asked me that which people do I want to meet? Do I want to meet celebrities like Wizkid or what? I said, that would be nice, Sha, but I want to meet people who I need in my life, people who are necessary for my life, that when I meet them, I would recognize them. And then the lady said, do you want people that you need for your life? And when you meet them, you will recognize them and they will recognize you. And I thought about it and said, yes. People I need in my life, when we meet, let's recognize each other. She said, fine, okay. Now, back to this dimension, this life. I had interview for Friday, 2 p.m. I was ready, everything, set up everything. Let me enter Zoom link. They say your country has been bad. First and only time in my life. Since when? I was like, Nigerians, what have you people done again? That's how Anna emailed the professor that, sir, I'm ready for the meeting, but I don't know. My Zoom, my account is blocked. Like, I can't access it with Nigeria VPN. Maybe Nigeria is blocked or something, you know. We started emailing back and forth. Try this, try that, try this for like 30 minutes. I said, my village people, if you want to start again. But my God is greater. Finally, we were able to sort it out. And then we started talking. And then he asked me about, you know, my CV that I'd sent. What am I doing right now? And he was like, you're applying for August next year. Let's try spring, January. You know, the deadline is next week, Wednesday. That was in September. Tell your recommenders to write references. You arrange your own application. I will help you review your essay. I will pay your application fee. I was like, I was so happy. I was like, yay! I was like, what? It's not like $50. I said, sir, $50. Do you know what $50 means? Thank you. It was like, don't worry. So if you write your essay, send it to me. I'll review it. You know, anything you need, just tell me. You know what this man said? He said, when I was explaining how I know I'm smart and everything, I'm not just a local champion. I know I'm an international champion, but I don't know why things haven't worked out the way I would prefer. He said that sometimes you don't even need to be too intelligent. All you need is to meet the right people at the right time and be in the right place. And with a little bit of hard work, you will go far. And my mind was like, Omo, my person, you know. And basically, that's how I started applying for January, spring. And then I was like, I'll see how it goes. If everything works out well, who am I? He was like, are you sure you have the mental stamina for PhD? I say, this thing I've been looking for. If I finally get it, why will I give up? If I did not give up in all the application I've been applying up to now, is it when I'm inside I will now give up? This is what I told him. I said there's an expression we use in Nigeria. We die here. That's basically what will happen. We will die here. And he laughed and he was like, nobody will die here, you know. And so I started applying. Then he said he will help me look for funding. At worst, if I don't get funding, we'll shift the admission from January to August. But if I get funding, then I'll come in January. And once I'm in the US, I'm laughing because I'm actually in the US right now. Oh my God. Going out memory lane. Anyway, and then once I'm in the US, I can get more opportunities. And so, bam, I started rushing on my recommenders. God bless all my referees. I had some challenges, but the man helped me through it. And then I applied and paid the application fee. and everything. My mother was like, remember the dream that you dreamt? This one na your person, oh, na God don't send this one. Don't play with him, oh, don't play with him. And I was like, let's see how it goes. Then later, another professor sent me email and said, oh, Chiz, I saw your CV. This is the research I'm doing. Check if you're interested. And I wrote to the other man that, somebody sent me email. He said, like, don't worry. I've been looking for who has funding in my whole faculty because my own lab is full. And some of them did not really like it because you don't have engineering background. But this man has funding in his lab. Check if you're interested in his research and reach to him. Check if I'm interested in what? The research that I said I'm interested in, what do I know inside? Is it not surface knowledge? For all I know, this one might be better for me. The grammar might be plenty, but this might be the best calling for me. So of course, are they interested? So I reached out to the professor, and then back, sharp like that. We fixed interview dates for Friday again. And so I met this man. The first thing the man said, because he's Chinese, he was like, I see in your CV that you did karate and taekwondo. Interesting. I say yes. Say, me, I like sports, but I can't do sports. So I'm just a sports fan. But I see you're an energetic person. I was like, yes. And so we talked about his research, my research interests and goals, and that kind of conversation. And before you know what, they were asking me questions like, are you vaccinated? Remember, I had my eye on France trip. I don't already go look recommendations. Say if France trip work, I don't want anything to not be the reason why I will not go. I saw vaccination, so I don't already start my vaccination since that one is another gist of his own. At first, there was no vaccine available. So when it became available, they called me. When I went to take now, they gave me a date that was after my France conference date. I was like, this date is too far. That's past what I'm taking. I said, sorry. Apparently, they had added 1 month extra. Thank God, say you see why it's important to shine your eye. They now removed it. So the day they put was exactly 7 days before the conference date. And that's France requirement. You have to be fully vaccinated at least 7 days before you travel. So 1 day later, if enter voice me. So while I was waiting for my second dose now, I was having this interview. And so when they were like, are you vaccinated? I was like, yes, I'm waiting for my second dose. My second dose is next week. They're like, good. So how long does it take to get a visa in Nigeria? I was like, I don't know. They said estimate. I was like 3 months. And you're like, okay, this is 2.5 months gone already. Would it take you a lot? I said, well, I'm in an organization that will help me do that. Education USA, remember? Like, cool. Okay, we'll get back to you. Those are good signs, but I've been heartbroken so many times in the past. So I was just like, I will not think of it too much. Friday. I remember Nigeria, we are 6 hours ahead of them in the US. So I went to sleep that night, and then I woke up on Saturday morning on my data to do my morning devotion. And bam, I just saw email, ROA offer. Chizzy, we love your enthusiasm, your motivation, your drive. Find attached your full offer. Just like that Education USA email, but bigger. My heart was big. Now, calculating the timing, they did it the same day. Big, bam, full offer. I sent the letter to my advisors in Education USA, and they're like, oh my God, this is a great offer. If you are taking it, tell us so that we can start your visa process immediately. Oh my God, I was in tears. This was something I had wanted for so long. And anyway, so I sent everything to Education USA and immediately started the visa process. And they sent me fill this form, fill that form. Meanwhile, I'm still doing a France conference wahala. So I did my visa. I submitted my documents at the visa agency for France, and in 3 working days, my visa was ready, as opposed to 15 days, as per Council of Europe invitee. Yes. Okay, let me book flights now. I don't see flight routes. I find I don't see. I go sleep. I said, this France, I don't already go to France, come back. Because every challenge I have had, God has already provided in advance. Even when I was calling to book manual appointment, my uncle had sent me credit and MTN gives me bonus airtime. So by the next day, I had bonus airtime to call the whole world if I wanted to. So I was like, this France, I don't already go, come back. I wrote to the people. The next day, they sent me alternative routes. And I chose one. And I was traveling around the whole world. From Lagos to Turkey 10 hours. From Turkey to Basel, tri-national town. From Basel, enter train to Strasbourg in France. Train that I entered the wrong train. Now and the gist is on Instagram. And so I chose the route to France trip don't set. And so I take go to France, so and I did, and that one was a whole new chapter for me. The whole gist is on Instagram. I cannot go into that one now. And then when I came back to start preparing for US, Education USA took care of everything, and me, my family, none of us had to worry about where to get the money for the visa fee, the service fee, and freak out about all those things. The way it was happening, I knew the visa was already assured. It was obvious that it was the hand of God, and it was obvious that the France and the US thing were the two babies I had been dreaming about in 2020. So it took like a year for the babies to start manifesting. And like I said, yes, I will not let my circumstances define my conviction. My conviction will define my circumstances. And now I was seeing them, the year of Jubilee. Just as I lost them in the same month, July in 2012. 9 years later, I was seeing them happening in the same month again in 2021. In October 2021. And if you check it, 2012, if you switch that 12, it becomes 2021. And it was just so significant. 9 years after, which coincidentally, November of 2021 was the 90th anniversary of Celebration Church International, And the whole thing happened like a film, and boom, December 31st, I was in the US. December 31st of 2020, when I was singing This Is the Year of Jubilee with my mother in our dark parlor in Kwale in Delta State because there was no lights doing our crossover, I had no idea, no clue. In fact, December 31st is far. By my birthday, my 25th year birthday, my silver jubilee, I had no clue that the year would end up like that. But the moment I gave everything over to God, just like that, and now it still feels surreal, like I'm going to wake up from this one day, and that's why I'm making these videos, so that by a year or two, when this feels so normal and I'm prone to start complaining about bullshit, I can watch this video again and remember how it felt. So now I'm in the US. My department, biomedical engineering, is in the College of Engineering. I finished from medical biochemistry in the College of Medicine. It's a major transfer from College of Medicine to College of Engineering. But I know I can handle it because my God will not give me something bigger than I can handle. So this is my testimony. And I want you to be encouraged by this. What is that dream you've had forever? For me, I always wanted to be challenged, to be pushed. And now I'm in an environment that is going to do just that. After 15 years. My first scholarship exam was when I was 10. Now I'm 25. What is that dream you have? If you believe you deserve it, if you cannot imagine another reality, then why give up? And honestly, you can try so hard, but it takes God just like this to do it when it's time. When it's time, like, you just have to take this step right in front of you, and everything else will be taken care of. Like Education USA now, it was supposed to be one meeting every month from now till August next year, but boom, December, January, I'm already in the US. Even though when I was applying, I didn't know how I was going to keep up with the meetings. I just took the step that was in front of me. So I know you may be tired. I know you are tired. But that step in front of you that you can't take, just take it. It might be the step that will just be the key to everything. And one thing is that whatever you lose, God will restore it 100-fold. You see, when I was going to go for that conference in America and I was the only one denied visa, when I went to France, we were supposed to be like 3 from Nigeria. I was the only one that went. And when I went, out of the 39 GT delegates, I was the only one who became a speaker at the World Forum for Democracy. So as I am an international public speaker. Yes, I have spoken on global international platforms. And this admission, fully funded in every sense of the word, down to my flight. Education USA, the school, basically, the American government is telling me, oh, we would love to have you. After they denied me visa. I am so glad I did not give up. And I did not become so desperate to do the wrong things. Because now it feels so much better. And now I recognize the people who are really there for me. I recognize the kind of company I want around me. And that phase was not funny. I didn't like it, I don't like it, but it was very important and it was very necessary. So when I go through a difficulty in future, even though it's not funny, I am going to enjoy it because I know that the fruit it will express and bring out to me is going to be so worth it. It's going to be beautiful. So are you going through your trials now? What attitude are you going through it with? What do you hope to gain out of it? This is a very great time to take advantage of. That dream, don't give up. Build your perseverance. Build your skills. Except, you don't deserve the dreams. Then you can give up. But now who give up, fuck up. Just know that. So I hope that you are encouraged by this. And future me, who may get tired at some point and is maybe thinking very foolish thoughts. Babe, we've come so far. The sky is our starting point. The cheesy experience, is so much more than this. Stay strong. So special thanks to Ochiko. You've always been there, and for some reason I was blind. And I just realized. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you, B-Mac. Thank you, Sandra, Princess Omonigo. Thank you so much. Like, you were really instrumental. You gave what you could. Your reward is not from us. Your reward is from God. Even when we fail or disappoint you, God will surely reward you. I know that for a fact. Thank you, my lecturers. Thank you, Celebration Church International. You've touched me, and I know I am going to touch the whole world. So that's already part of the fulfillment of your vision of touching billions. Thank you for every friend that has disappointed me and let me down. You've taught me and showed me the kind of company I want around me, the kind of relationships I want to have. And the hurt, the disappointment, the heartbreak have strengthened me to not take anything less than what I want, to not settle for less. So thank you. Thank you to the Fregeners, my second family, that welcomed me and accepted me into their home. You don't know how much, and I was still naive and experimenting life in Unibe, and how much you validated me. You made me feel like, yes, you're welcome into any space. You don't know how much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you, my parents. Thank you, my siblings, all of you. Thank you for not judging my uniqueness, for not judging my dreams, for being proud of me and encouraging me, for a family of our background and where we come from. It must have been really challenging having me, but thank you so much. Thank you, Daddy. You taught me that your name is Wilson because your father willed for a son, and that where there is a will, there is a way. And that's why you're named Wilson. You've taught me the power of will. And that's why I call myself Willpower now. I've just had no time to do with all the document and everything. But yes, my name is Willpower now. Thank you, Mommy. Those dreams that, the patriarchy took from you. Because of you, I am so motivated to reach for the greatest heights possible. I don't care whether they say I'm black or I'm female. That one is their business. You don't concern me. And so I'm going to continue working harder. Thank you, everyone else, my professors, Education USA. And thank you, University of Kentucky, for having me. Thank you, everybody who knows me, everybody who has given me feedback, who has engaged with me, because I like to share. And for some reason, people don't like to respond. So every one of you who engage, who are inspired, who are gingered, every one of you. Trust me, there's a whole long list in my head right now that I can't go through, but thank you. And this new phase of my life, this new dispensation, is going to be different. I'm in a different country, different life, different school, different everything, obviously. But yeah, I know it's going to be glorious. So, cheers to a new dispensation, to a new phase. And thank you so much for the past one. Thank you, guys. And I am super excited for what the future holds. That however it turns out, is going to be glorious. As I'm saying this, I'm afraid because when life can be a bitch sometimes, but however it turns, you know, we go rugged down. We are more than conquerors. Hmm? We are more than conquerors. So cheers. Love you. Mwah.